Hello viewers, my name is Tamilari. In this lesson, we'll be looking at the topic local biotic community, or we say local biomes in Nigeria, and we'll still look at local biomes in the world. So let's start with local biomes in Nigeria. What is the meaning of biome? Biome is a large biotic biological community which corresponds to vegetation belts or zone. So once we hear biome, bio means life. It means where we have living organisms in form of community. That means they are grouped together, naturally occurring groups of organisms. So this biome corresponds to vegetation belts, and that's why we're looking at different vegetations under biomes. So each biome has its own characteristic climates, and there are certain living organisms in each of the biomes. So for the local biomes, we have forest zone and we have savanna zone. Once we hear forest zone, the first thing that should come to your mind is trees. So it means it's made up of vegetation having mainly trees. And from this forest zone that has trees, we still have some divisions under the forest zone. That's the mangrove swamp forest, because it contains both salt and fresh water. Then we have tropical rain forest. So these are the different forest zones we have in the local biomes. After forest, we now have savanna. If forest is for trees, savanna is for grass. So it's made up of mainly grasses. And savanna zone is also divided into southern Guinea savanna, northern Guinea savanna, and Sahel savanna. So let's go back to the forest. Remember, under forests we have mangrove swamp forest, so which I said has both fresh and salt water. The areas where you can see mangrove swamp forest is along the coastal region. That means regions that have water, salt water or the likes. Like if you go to Delta, you will see the Cross River, because there's water there. Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Ogun, and Lagos. What are now the characteristics of swamp forest? If you enter swamp forest, so being a forest, you see trees there that are tall, woody. Why are they tall and woody, having enough wood? Because water is there that will make them grow. And their roots, you can use this diagram to remember that their trees are tall, and if you look at their roots, they are prop. See roots here, root, prop, because of the water that is under it. So, and again, breathing roots. So it's difficult to breathe in water, so that's why they need breathing roots, which they call pneumatophore, PNEU, new, then MA, to, TO, and for, which is PHORE. So that's the breathing root. So inside swamp, then a swamp forest has a combination of fresh and salt water. The total annual rainfall in a swamp forest is above 2,500 millimeters, and there's always waterlogged there, because remember it's a swamp, so it's always waterlogged. You can see evergreen trees there. Trees there are evergreen, and their leaves, they are broad, wide, because there is water. There are some common plant species we can see in this swampy environment, which are white mangrove, red mangrove, raffia palm, coconut. Then the animals we can find there, we have tilapia, we have fish, we have oyster, we have crabs, we have snakes, we have birds, we have kingfishers. So we move to tropical rainforest. We have seen mangrove swamp forest. So tropical rainforest. So this one, you can see it in Edo, Delta, Ondo, Imo, Abia, Lagos, Ogun, Rivers, Oyo, and Bayelsa. So what is the characteristics of tropical rainforest? Its own vegetation, they are mainly woody plant. That means there is enough wood in tropical rainforest. So like trees, you see trees there because it's a forest. You see shrubs, that means the tree that are not as tall as the normal tree is a shrub. It also has herbs. Those ones are very low in height. Grasses are almost absent. Since it's a forest, it should be majorly for tree and not grasses. Trees form three layers. We have the bottom layer of the tree, middle layer of the tree, and the upper layer of the tree where we have emergence. It has numerous climbers climbing those trees, creepers creeping on the floor, on the ground, then epiphytes, that's a plant growing on another plant, parasitic plant, a plant that is damaging another plant. It has little undergrowth due to canopy. So canopy will cover the undergrowth, so they are not much. So formed by tall trees. The plant species we can find in the tropical rainforest, we have the Iroko, which is Milicia excessa. We have Obeche, which is Triplochiton scleroxylon. We have Mahogany, which is Swietenia mahogania. We have African walnuts. We have Opepe, Nuclear diderici. We have Ebony. The animals we see in this rainforest, tropical rainforest, are monkeys, birds, snakes, chameleon, and squirrel. So that leads us to savanna zone, the grassland zone. So we have the southern Guinea savanna. So these biotic communities, they are found in states like Enugu, Kogi, Benue, Kwara, Uyo, Ebonyi, Osun, and Ekiti states. So that's where we find this southern Guinea savanna, because there are grasses in all these environments. So characteristics of southern Guinea savanna, it is the largest of all the biotic community. That means enough of grasses are there. The rainfall is moderate, which is between 100 and 150. The grasses there, they are very tall. So it has tall trees as well, and leaves of that tree are broad. Even though the trees are scattered, they are not together. So and deciduous, they shed their leaves during dry season. The trees you can see in southern Guinea savanna so include locust bean trees, shea butter, and isobalena. The animals that are found in this southern Guinea savanna are antelopes, lion, leopards, zebra. So majorly those animals that are in grass environment. Then after southern is always better than northern. So northern Guinea savanna, we can find this in states like Plateau, Kaduna, Bauchi, Niger, Taraba, Adamawa, Kano states. So these are the northern Guinea savanna. Then characteristics of northern Guinea savanna, that means green grassland in the north. So its rainfall is low because it is northern, which is about 500 to 1000 millimeter. It has short but numerous grasses. It has scattered and short deciduous trees. Some of the trees have thorns while others have thick barks. So some of the trees also can wither during dry season, and they can sprout at the beginning of the rainy season. So common plant species we can find in this northern Guinea savanna, we have acacia, we have date palm, we have silk, we have cotton plant, we have baobab. So why the animals that are commonly found in northern Guinea savanna? So we have snake, lizard, deer, we have leopard, we have antelope, we have lion. So since savanna is grassland and that's where lion is found, then Sahel, from the word hellfire, it will be very hot. So this local biotic community is found only in the extreme, so the extreme northern parts of Nigeria, the place that is very hot, like Borno is number one, then Katsina, and then Sokoto. So all these are extreme northern parts. You can also see Yobe, Kebbi, Zamfara, Kano, Jigawa. So characteristics of Sahel savanna, from the word hell, so the temperature will definitely be high, the rainfall will be very low, like 500 millimeters per annum. Then presence of short and scanty grasses. So the grasses, they are short and they are scanty. Then the presence of short and tough shrubs. So they are shrubs or the trees, they are short because it's not forest, it's a savanna. So presence of short, thorny and sparsely distributed grasses. So important plant species include gum arabic. We see gum arabic in this Sahel. So Sahel, gum arabic, then date palm. So that leads us to deserts. So what can we say about deserts? These are areas with maximum rainfall. Areas with maximum rainfall of about 250 mm per year. 250 mm per year. So, and the location, we can find deserts in the border of Sokoto, Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno states. Now, what are the characteristics of desert? Once we hear desert, what will come to your mind? That means there is no rain there or water, so little or no rain fall in most of the year, less than 250 millimeters annually. It has high temperature at day and very low humidity at night. It has fewer grasses and shrubs. So the grasses, they are few. Since it's a desert, no water, no plants. The plants that you now see, that they have special adaptive features like absence of leaves, then swollen and succulent stems and long roots, etc. So all these are found in desert plants. There are common examples of trees you can find in deserts. We have baobab and cacti. CACTI. So that's cacti. So baobab, that's Adansonia digitata, and cacti from cactus. They are found in deserts. Now that leads us to the the major biomes of the world. We are done with the local biomes. So here we are entering the major biomes of the world. So in this biome, we have tropical rainforest, we have deserts, we have savanna. So savanna. So we also still have shrubs and swamp, and then Afro-alpine. So these are the things we can see under the major biomes of the world. So let's start with tropical rainforest is also in the world. So just like all I've said earlier about tropical rainforest, they are always hot, there is high rainfall, so hot, high rainfall, high humidity. So these are the things we find in the tropical rainforest. And then the next one, characteristics of that tropical rainforest. Remember, anything tropical is always hot or there's sun, though the rain is also balanced. So it has high temperature of about 25 to 27 degrees centigrade, and the range is small annual range of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Rainfall is throughout the year. When it comes to tropical rainforest, that's why they call it rainforest. So rain is throughout the year with two peaks. It has two peaks, double maximum. So it has, that means the time that the rain will be very heavy. So it's twice, two peaks, double maximum. It has an annual rainfall range of about 1500 to 2000. So that's for the rainfall range. It is about it has abundant sunshine. That means enough sun. That's for it. The relative humidity is very high. So the relative humidity is very high. That's because of the rain. Then forest trees have broad evergreen leaves. Broad ever, that means the leaves are wide and they are evergreen. There is abundance of hardwood. We have abundance of hardwood. So those hardwood, they are the Iroko, that's Militia Excelsa Obeche Triplochiton sclerosildum, Mahogany, African walnut, Ebony, etc. Also the forest, it has little undergrowth. Those things that are growing underneath it. Then the trees, they are of great varieties. There are different varieties of trees. It also consists of 5 layers. We have the first 3 comprises of trees, while the fourth layer consists mainly of shrubs. So, and the fifth layer comprises of the forest floor. So, forest floor. Then creepers, climbers, epiphyte, parasitic plants, they are commonly found in what? In tropical rain forests. So, tropical rain forests. So then that's for the 5 layers. So the first 3, they are trees, but the fourth mainly for shrubs, the fifth forest floor. Now looking at creepers, climbers, epiphytes, and parasitic plants. So they are commonly found in the tropical rainforest. That means a place where there is good sun and rain. So tropical rain forest. Then the next thing is grassland, which is also known as savanna. So this one you can just use the idea that was laid down in local biomes. Now, like I said, from the knowledge of grassland or savanna that was mentioned in the local biomes, so we can just use that idea also for the grassland in the world biome. So we move straight to different grassland we have. We have the grassland that is tropical, that means hot, and the rain will be balanced. So, and this grassland, they have different names by different sets of people or countries. So, and characters of tropical grassland, you can also use the idea of the that of the biomes local biomes. And take note of special names like campus is the name they call it in Brazil. So campus, so maybe you say camp B or B camp. Then Illinois in Orinoco, that's South America. So South America call it Illinois, that's they are calling Savannas Illinois. So then we have Argentina calling it Pampas and the likes. So we also have temperate grasslands. So this one, the rainfall is low, it fluctuates its seasonal temperature for and few trees. Then we have steppes. So that's steppes, that's in Asia, they call their own grassland steppes. So and also in South America and Australia. Now characters of temperate grassland is always about cold. So temperate is a cold environment. So whereby there is annual rainfall. Rainfall is usually conventional. Then dominant vegetation consists of grasses. So consists of grasses. There are a few trees are also present in this temperate grassland. So we will not dwell more on this. Let's just go straight to deserts. When you talk of desert, these are dry or you say arid places where the availability of water is a major factor that determines the type of organism that can live there. So if you look at the soil of desert, it's very poor and they have high content of mineral particles. So high content of mineral particles. So that's for deserts. Then the plants in deserts, we call them xerophytes because they can withstand absence of water. An example is cactus, and their leaves mostly needle-like, tiny or spring leaves. So to reduce the rate of transpiration, that means loss of water, to reduce it. There are different or two types of deserts. We have the primary and the secondary deserts, or we say hot and cold deserts. So in the hot deserts, that's where we have Sahara, while cold deserts we can be seen at Atacama, Namib, and so on. So for the hot desert, I said Sahara, we also have Arabian. So take note of that. In deserts, so the characteristics of hot desert, everything about hot desert is high temperature, so the humidity will be have to be low since everywhere is hot. So the things we find in the common vegetable, we have grasses, shrubs, herbs, and so on. So other desert plants, we have wiring grasses, cacti, palm, and acacia or acacia. So while in cold deserts, we find this in the interior of the continent, that's inside, so and south of the equator. So the characteristics of cold deserts, it has hot summers and cold winters. So its own rainfall is about 250 millimeters. So during diurnal temperature, so diurnal temperature will range about 35 degree Celsius. So while annual range is 40 degree Celsius. So cold desert, they have short and scanty grasses. It has drought resistance. If everywhere is dry, it can resist that. So drought resistance plant. So with woody stems. So with woody stems and needle-like or spiny leaves. So to reduce the rate of transpiration. We also have shrub. In terms of height, tree is taller than shrub. So shrub vegetation, you find this on the equatorial ridge margins. Meaning if this is the earth, so the equator is here. So and another line here, which is the axis. So at this equatorial region, so we can also find shrubs on the equatorial margins of the subtropical and tropical desert with a short rainy season in summer and a long winter dry season. Now another thing is characteristics of shrub. So this vegetation, they have very high temperature, and the mean annual rainfall is 250 to 475 millimeters. So summers are hot, and we also have, if summers are hot, then we have the one that is okay, summers are hot and dry, while winter is mild and rainy. So winter is mild and rainy. So the vegetation of this biome, so is dominated by thorny trees or shrubs. So final one, we look at Afro-alpine. So it is a kind of vegetation also that is associated with high mountains, or we say high land. So high mountains or high land. So all those Afro-alpine, they are like this. So high lands. So the vegetation of that Afro-alpine as it relates to Africa, so is found in islands like Cameroon have islands, mountain, Kenya island, Kilimanjaro mountain. Then what are the characteristics of this Afro-alpine? Temperature and pressure of Afro-alpine will decrease. So their temperature will decrease with, so looking at the temperature, so it will decrease with altitude, meaning that if you are going up, the more you go up, the lesser the temperature will be going down. So that's for Afro-alpine. Heavy rainfall is also experienced on the windward side of the mountain, while lesser rainfall on the leeward. So the windward side of the mountain, it may have luxuriant forest types, so on the windward. Then on the leeward, so you may experience savanna types of vegetation, and their vegetation always decrease, it goes down with height of the mountain. So the peak of the mountain may experience ice cap or permanent snows. So we look at swamp forests. So they are usually found in the tropic along coastal region. So that's what we have about swamp. So the animals we can see in swamp, they are skipper crabs and tilapia fish. So these are swampy organisms. So we have come to the end of this topic, the local and world biomes. So thanks for listening.